Hi, this is Julio Fopoli in this guided practice number 3, which belongs to the second part of the video, Object Pronouns Made Easy. Let's get started. Say this in English. I help you all the time. This is a formal situation and you are addressing a woman. How many objects do we have? 1, because we can answer the question whom. All the time is not an object because it answers the question when, and if you remember from our previous lessons, objects only answer the questions what, whom, or to whom. So only one object. So in this case, if we have only one object, we have to use this column. So in this case, it's you, it's formal, talking to a woman. So formal, talking to a woman, the pronoun we need is la. La ayudo todo el tiempo. Why are you eating them now? We are referring to bananas. How many objects do we have? 1. It answers the question what. So this means that we have only one object, so when we have one object for them, the translation is los o las, but in this case we're talking about bananas, which is feminine, so the pronoun that we can use, or the pronoun we have to use is las. ¿Por qué las estás comiendo ahora? And as we have two verbs, estás and comiendo, we also have two options. ¿Por qué estás comiéndolas ahora? Can't you prepare them later? Them in this case is referring to sandwiches, which in Spanish is a masculine word. So we need to start off by identifying the number of objects. Them answers the question what. Later is not an object because it doesn't answer the questions what, whom, or to whom. So we have only one object. So them, in this case it's referring to sandwiches, which is a masculine word. So the translation would be los. No los puedes preparar más tarde. And as we have two verbs, puedes and preparar, we also have two options. No puedes prepararlos más tarde. I need you here. In this case, you are addressing to women. So how many objects do we have? You answers the question whom, so it means we have one object. Here answers the question where, so this is not an object because objects only answer the questions what, whom, or to whom. If we look at this, we will say that we have a plural form, which is feminine. This means that we need this pronoun, las. Las necesito aquí. I invited you to my wedding. This is a plural situation, and we are talking to a man and a woman. How many objects do we have? 1 here, because we can answer the question whom. To my wedding is not an object because it doesn't answer what, whom, or to whom. So this means that we only have an object, and as we are addressing two people, this is the plural you form, and as there's a man and a woman, the masculine form takes over, so we are going to use los. Los invité a mi boda. She can send her more information. How many objects do we have? 1, 2. For that reason, we are going to choose one of the objects on this column. So her, the translation of her would be le. Le puede enviar más información. And as we have two verbs, we also have two options. Puede enviarle más información. I have to give you my email address. In this case, let's assume that it's a formal situation. You are talking to either a man or a woman, it doesn't really matter. You are talking to one person in a formal situation. How many objects do we have? Well, we have 1. You answers the question to whom. My email address is another object which answers the question what. So we have two objects. It's a formal situation. so we need one object from this side, le. Le tengo que dar mi dirección de email. And as we have two verbs, we also have two options. Tengo que darle mi dirección de email. He can't buy them right now. We're talking about magazines. How many objects do we have? Well, the word them answers the question what, which makes it an object. Right now is not an object because it doesn't answer what, whom, or to whom. So we have one object from here. Them is plural, and in this case magazines, revistas, is a feminine word. So we need to use las. No las puede comprar en este momento. And as we have two verbs, puede and comprar, we also have two options. No puede comprarlas en este momento. She's grading them now. Them is referring to some exams. Exámenes, masculine word. So how many objects do we have? Them answers the question what. Now doesn't answer any of these questions. It doesn't answer what, whom, or to whom, so it's not an object. So we need to use one pronoun from this side. So them and exámenes, we said it's a masculine word. So we need to be here, and for a masculine word we use los. Los está corrigiendo ahora. And as we have two verbs, we also have two options. Está corrigiéndolos ahora. I have to call you soon. In this case, you are talking to 5 women and 1 man. How many objects do we have? You is a direct object. It answers the question to whom. Soon is not an object because it doesn't answer any of the 3 questions. We need what, whom, or to whom. For that reason, we can affirm that this sentence has just one object. So you, it's plural in this case, and we have 5 women, but there's 1 man. And in Spanish, if there is only 1 man, we use the masculine form. So plural and masculine, los. Los tengo que llamar pronto, or, as we have 2 verbs, we have 2 options. Tengo que llamarlos pronto. And this is the end of guided practice number 3. Now you are ready for Object Pronouns Made Easy, lesson number 3.